everybody, and welcome to We Shall Talk. I want to make this episode all about season 5 of Bridgerton. I have been meaning to record this episode, but I kind of just wanted to let it all sink in. We got the announcement. I guess it's been 2 or 3 weeks now that we know who season 5 is going to be, and I just want to jump into it. I want to dive into everything that we know so far for Bridgerton season 5. So to kick things off, we can confirm now that Bridgerton season 5 is going to focus on the love story between Francesca and Michaela Sterling. It is going to be a whirlwind season, I'm sure of it. It was announced through, I don't want to call it a trailer, just kind of like a sneak peek of Francesca and Michaela. And it's just kind of like this beautiful shot from, darkness into the light. You see a gown kind of billowing in the wind. And then as the camera kind of pans upwards, we then see that there's another gown in the shot. And I think that's the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, it's the girls, it's the ladies. And then you realize, okay, this is Francesca and Michaela. Gorgeous scenery. Looks like they're in Scotland. It's just a beautiful lookout, and it just really hits on the emotional side of things because it's just talking about finding love again, and it's just speaking to, the heartbreak and then the love that comes after. So I thought that the announcement itself was absolutely stunning. It was cinematic, and it was just so gorgeous. I am really, really glad that they kind of reverted back to that, because even though I did like the whole, Luke Thompson grabbing his suit for the masquerade, that was out of character, right? We weren't in the world. It was just kind of like a cheeky little way of announcing it. But I personally really love it when we're getting a glimpse into what's to come in character, in scene, and the feeling is just, it feels like season 5 or the season that's coming up. So I really, really am so happy that they did that. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I have been absolutely convinced that it's going to be Eloise. So it's interesting because two things can be true at the same time. You can be super, super excited about something, but also disappointed. That something else isn't happening. And I can compare it truly to having a baby and doing a gender reveal. And I've had 3 kids, so I have done 3 gender reveals. And before having my first, I knew that I wanted a girl so, so, so badly. So badly. So with my first baby, it was like, oh great, a boy. Cute. I'll take a boy, knowing that I would hopefully have more than one child. But for the second, I was sure that I was just going to have 2 kids because I did not enjoy pregnancy at all. So with my second, I truly experienced gender disappointment because it was another boy. And you can be so excited that you have a beautiful, healthy baby and that everything is fine, but also just be disappointed that it's not what you kind of thought it was going to be. So that's kind of how I feel with Francesca and Michaela. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for their love story. It's going to be stunning. It's going to be beautiful. It's an important story to tell. And I just know it's going to be executed perfectly. But at the same time, you can be like, damn, I was really, really excited for Eloise. So yeah, let's talk about that whole thing of the disappointment that it's not Eloise. I think people I think people were absolutely convinced it was going to be Eloise just because she has been on our screens for so long. For so long. We have gone 4 seasons, and now we're going into a 5th season of her story not coming to the forefront. And that can be frustrating. And I absolutely feel that. It's how much longer are we going to to build on her story. Like there's only so much like spinster talk, so much I don't want to get married, or I don't, there's only so much of that we can do, Um so it is disappointing, but from a like marketing perspective, I think that the idea of skipping a love story has been successful for Bridgerton. And let me explain. Them skipping Benedict to get the pollen season in season 3 had the same kind of effect that we're seeing now with skipping over Eloise. But that just kind of like builds hype. So much more want and desire for that season that when it does come, it is like so long awaited, and there's like value in that. And then also simultaneously, like you got to think the fact that they are renewed for season 5 and 6. And it makes sense to kind of keep Eloise as season 6, because that hype that's going to build with the fact that we skipped over her, and the anticipation for season 6 is going to validate and amplify the need to renew for 7 and 8. So, and it's not to say that Francesca and Michaela wouldn't have that hype, but like I said, we have been waiting for Eloise to fall in love for 4, now 5 seasons. There's a natural hype and build up already that it just makes sense to hold on to it. And so yeah, business aside, I think that there is a really, really strong possibility and opportunity to set up Eloise's love story in season 5. I think that the days of like her helping Hyacinth, or her deciding she's on the shelf, and her just being like uninterested in the marriage mart, I think those days are behind us. I think we are going to be seeing an Eloise that is completely open to it and curious about it, and potentially seeking it in season 5. And I think we're going to get a similar kind of setup as season 3 in season 5. In season 3, we had Colin and Penelope's love story, but it was filled with a lot of subplots, which I know that a lot of people did not appreciate. And of course, I would have loved a lot more screen time for Pollen the way that we did for Benefi. But that just wasn't the case in season 3, because they were kind of introducing Francesca and John. They were focusing a lot on the Mondriches, and they were really focusing on Benedict and him getting to a point where he would be ready to fall in love, and he's experiencing the things he needs to experience. So with that in mind, I think that it's going to be a season filled with that for Eloise. Like we are going to see her kind of like not gradually anymore. Like I think it's just going to be like we're going to ascend to her eventual story in season 5, right? And I think they're going to build a lot of anticipation and a lot of cliffhangers for Eloise throughout season 5. They just have the opportunity to kind of build on it. I am 100% convinced, like, I will die on this hill, Sir Philip Crane will make an appearance at the beginning of season 5. And I'm sure of it. I am absolutely like so sure that she is going to meet him in part 1 of season 5. And I think she's going to, maybe not so much like love at first sight, but I think she's going to be, for the first time, like intrigued by a man and like really interested in the idea of him. And then I think he's just going to disappear in part 2. And then at the end of part 2, we're going to see that she's been writing letters to him. And then cue the she ran away kind of thing. And that's like cut to black. Season 6 is Eloise. She's gone. Nobody knows where she is. She got this guy that she kind of crushed on. She's been writing, like I think like we're really going to see the beginnings of Eloise's book kind of broken or explored throughout season 5. I think it's unlike show Eloise to just write a letter of condolences and like fall in love with a man over writing letters and then like having him propose and that's when she runs off. Like I don't see that happening based on like the story that they've set in stone so far for her. So I really don't see that. I really can foresee them building a foundation before she like runs off for this guy. I don't think she's running away for a stranger, is where I'm going to leave it. So, with that, I am very excited with Eloise's potential story arc in season 5. And I am also so excited to see Francesca and Michaela going through, I want to say the ringer because I think it's going to be really dramatic. I think there's going to be a lot of like confrontations, a lot of like basically sexual frustration. I think there's gonna be a lot of that. Because where we left off with Francesca and Michaela, Francesca had asked Michaela at the end of season 4 to stay in London. She was really enjoying her time with her and finding like comfort with being with Michaela, and then suddenly Michaela just like runs off. She can't handle it. The emotions are too high. She is feeling some kind of way and she just leaves in like the middle of the night. Basically, she just escapes. So we are definitely jumping into season 5 with some tension and a lot of confusion from Francesca's side. And we've gotten some interviews with Hannah Dodd, who plays Francesca Bridgerton Sterling, and Misali Baduza, who plays Michaela Sterling. They've done some interviews already. We've had articles, and they really touch on the fact that, what we kind of suspected in season 4, Michaela is queer and she knows it, and she has started to develop feelings for Francesca, which is probably why she runs away. Um, and we kind of suspected that when John kind of makes a big fuss about, don't set Michaela up with a man. Like, no, we're not doing that. She is decidedly on the shelf, et cetera, et cetera. So they've already confirmed that, that is true, that Michaela is queer. And so there's a lot of like breaking down like their facades, like Michaela being all strong and like nobody can like take me down kind of attitude, like we need to get beyond that, and Francesca being this um I want to say like proper lady, but that's kind of how I see her. She's very proper, she's very like follows the rules, things go a certain way, and more reserved, I think, by nature because she likes to be in the quiet. She has grown up with a really busy family, so I think she really likes that like that seclusion. Kind of getting beyond that is going to be really interesting. Yeah, it's just lots of really great insights so far for their season. So it's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see them like go to Scotland. I hope that they really, you know, explore who they are when they are in Scotland. And I'm just curious to see how it's all going to play out. I am planning on doing a reread of When He Was Wicked and going to kind of like follow along on the podcast. I might do like a few chapters every week and then we can like hop on and chat about it. because that's going to be a good reread now knowing what we know. So that is going to be a fun one. And yeah, we're just going to kind of stay up to date with, information as it comes. And, they've already started filming. They haven't officially announced it on socials or anything, but there has been some sightings in London of, filming and, confirmed that it is the code for Bridgerton season 5. It's been confirmed that they are filming in London based on the code name for season 5. So that's really fun. We've seen Claudia Jessie on set as Eloise, which I find interesting. It feels very like planned, just to give people some peace. It has been also reported, very much a rumor, that Chris Fulton, who plays Sir Philip Crane, has been spotted on set, not photographed, but spotted. I take that with a grain of salt. The moment we do see or hear or anything confirmation wise for Sir Philip Crane, I will lose my mind. It's gonna be incredible and exciting. Um, but we'll see. Only time will tell. And I'm just gonna put out there, I'm really hoping for the Duke and the Duchess of Hastings to come back. I don't know. I know that Reggae is promoting his new movie and probably being asked a lot of questions about Bridgerton, but I don't know, he's answering them, so I don't know, maybe there's a potential. I'm just throwing it out there into the universe. Let's get them back. Okay, anyways, that is it for the episode. Stay tuned for more, and stay tuned for more information on when we will start the reread of When He Was Wicked. Yeah, everything will be available online, and thank you so much for tuning in.